Hello everyone, today is the 3rd of January 2017. I am Hammerforce, and this is going to be one of my daily vlogs about what I've done today. So I've actually gotten up to what I think is a fairly productive, useful and interesting day. So I started off by waking up around 10 o'clock, played Hearthstone for half an hour to an hour or so. Played a priest deck. Hearthstone, for those who don't know, is a online card game made by Blizzard Entertainment. It's actually quite good for little kids to play as well as, you know, adults obviously. But yeah, no, I got my little cousin when he was sort of 6-ish. Showed him Hearthstone. He could pick up the rules. So, you know, he wasn't very good at them, but he could understand them. So, decent game to show to little kids. If you've got any of your own maybe, or you know any brothers, sisters, cousins, whatever. But anyway, so I played Hearthstone for a little bit, and then I went on to sort of the main activity of the day. Completely, well, not unplanned, but not strictly planned either. I just sort of felt like doing it, was getting this YouTube channel, which you are watching this video on right now, set up properly. Now, the account already existed, but I wanted to redo a lot of things about it. Because the main issue I had before is it was too much effort for the videos, and this was largely due to a couple of problems. One, each outro video was an absolute pain to set up because it had like 5-6 different annotations or something like that. And setting the annotations in YouTube is an absolute pain. I hate their editor. It's awful. And all those annotations linked out to different videos or a subscribe button. Yeah, no, not a good idea. So instead, we still have a little outro, but it's a lot more automated. It makes use of YouTube's ability to automatically recommend videos to people. What else does it do? It will statically link to a video on how to join the Eventum community, which I'll talk a bit more about later, because it's potentially something you might want to consider checking out. And then it also links to the most recent video to show that we're uploading stuff, or if we are not uploading stuff, hopefully warn you that we are not uploading stuff. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with it. It took a little while to get right the first time. It took a lot longer to set up, I think, than the original template did initially, because I had to sort of get everything in the exact location in the perfect, make sure the little dot above the J wasn't being covered up by the Eventum logo, or was it the I can't remember, but that was a very annoying process for a while, and you had to sort of eyeball it initially first as well with getting the temp. And my eyeballing was pretty good, but you had to eyeball sort of, because what I had to do is I made the template in paint.net, which is very much like Windows Paint, but slightly better. So I made this little thing in paint.net, saved it as an image, took that image, and then figured out where it would all fit, where the sort of YouTube suggested video, because it's got set dimensions, so I need to make sure the video isn't too big, so it's not overwriting the word, and yeah, it was a little bit of a pain to get that all quite right. But it worked in the end, and I think it was well worth the effort, because now it's nice and easy to set up. I don't need to do much at all. It's a couple of button presses, which is a lot easier than almost 20 minutes, 30 minutes worth of effort per video. No, wasn't really viable. So, with that out of the way, that was a big improvement. The second thing is that I am being a bit less strict. By a bit, I mean considerably less strict with my standards. You'll notice in the Munchkin video, which is what I was working on today, we recorded it yesterday, but I was doing all the editing and such today, and it was the first thing we've uploaded for a long time to the Eventum channel. So you'll notice with that, you know, the webcam is at a very unflattering angle, very unflattering. It made it look like I have an afro, which is not the case. I've got big hair, but not quite afro level. So that was bad. The lighting, you know, sort of a blazing inferno above my head. I don't know what I did with my hand here. Some sort of cowboy thing. Hopefully not making any rude symbols. Only the video recording will tell. And yeah, so there's a lot of low. I was a bit quieter than everyone else. I think I've adjusted that now, but I've decided to be less perfectionist and instead focus on actually getting some stuff done. Because ultimately, if it's a bad video, the worst that will happen is no one will watch it. Hopefully it won't drive them away from the channel forever. I feel that's unlikely. Not many people are going to see them anyway, because it's some of my first videos. They're unlikely to catch on, so just put them out there. Get in the habit of doing stuff. And that's good advice in general for productivity. Just do stuff. Don't matter if it ain't perfect, which is a real hard thing for me as a self-proclaimed perfectionist to admit. But don't matter if it ain't perfect, just get it done. You'll get better over time. As long as you're dedicated to getting better over time, it works okay. For example, lighting right now ain't perfect really either, because I'm getting a lot of white light from my screen, but I ain't going to worry about that. I'm just going to record this and move on, even despite my rambling, which is part of the point, to be honest, but at the same time I would like to ramble a bit less. But moving on, as I say, so that occupied most of the day, dealing with the YouTubes. What I was doing during all of that, for what it's worth, is I was listening to quite a bit of music. What I quite like is I usually sort of type in Code Geass, which is a anime, but I don't listen to music on that. I just listen to the AMVs, which I presume stands for animated movie videos, anime movie videos. I'm not entirely sure. Something along those lines. But anyway, they tend to have some nice background music with them. Not people are always surprised at the type of music I actually like. Usually surprising. People expect for me to be a classical gentleman, only listening to Beethoven and such. But no, I'm a bit more, bit more rocky than that, honestly. But yeah, so I had a nice dinner with my family as well. I'm down in Cornwall right now, which is where I lived from year 7, not 7 years old, but when I was in my 7th year. Well, it's not quite 7th year. If you're not in the UK, don't worry about it. But I was 12 at the time, or so, 11 or 12, can't remember exactly. And then I lived there until I was about 18, yes, 18. 18 is when I moved to Gloucester to get a job with EDF Energy. And now I've told you that, just note, my views do not represent EDF Energy in any way, shape or form. There you go, now I won't be fired. So, moving on from that. Yeah, so the thing I want to talk about regarding the family dinner is that it was my aunt. She's on a diet. She started some sort of chemical diet there, and what this involves is you're meant to eat the right foods, and then the chemicals react in some way that's meant to be particularly. I'm not sure how much truth there is to it, but it seems to give her a bit of confidence. Because she was eating things like grapefruit with, sort of the scotched egg, but not the egg bit of it. If you understood what I meant by that, congratulations. No, she was eating the egg bit of it, not the shell bit of it. Even though it's not an actual shell. Anyway. If you don't know what I mean, do not be concerned. Most of the population of the world does not know what I mean either. But yeah, so she was eating combinations of food, and obviously lots of lettuce and such. It actually looked like quite a lot of mass. But obviously a lot of it's going to end up being water because of lettuce. Vegetables have a lot of water in them. So she probably wasn't eating that much in terms of calories. I've always been of the preference of do exercise rather than diet. I always make sure to get a lot of walking in to every day. I don't own a car, primarily for that reason, to make sure I walk enough. And when I walk, I tend to try and walk quite quickly, which often leads to me power walking, and that helps the heart rate slightly. Because they say that's when you know you're doing good exercise, when your heart rate increases. Obviously, the more increases, I guess, the better exercise you're doing. And power walking, it's not thudding that loudly when you power walk somewhere, but it's up at least, rather than normal pace. And yeah, the other thing that works quite well for some people is having a fast day. So basically, you pick one day a week where you don't eat any food for the day, because then that sends your body in sort of a starvation type. You drink water. That's very important, but not eating physical food sends your body in some sort of starvation type state where it starts eating away at your fat instead. So only do that if you are actually fat, or large. You've got fat in you to burn. Someone like me, who's relatively skinny, doing something like that would be very dangerous because I don't have a huge amount of fat for my body to eat. And if you do it too much, it starts eating muscle instead of fat. That's a bad state to be in. So, yeah, that's one thing that works well for people. So if you're dieting, here you go. Here's various advice. I would suggest you Google all of these and preferably find good, reliable sources with opinions from experts as to what works well. But there you go. Dieting. Life lessons with Hammer Force. So the third thing I did today is I hanged around in Eventum a lot. What is Eventum? It's a community. It's been going on for quite a few years now. I can never remember the number, but it always surprises me how long. It's always varied the amount of people that are in it, and it's just essentially we tend to play a lot of games together. But we're also just good friends. We just talk to each other about stuff. One interesting conversation I had with someone earlier today was about life philosophies, in fact. Not your normal conversation, I'll admit, and not one we would normally talk about either, but it got there somehow. And it was interesting because we had very polar opposites, essentially, of life philosophies. So what he thought is that you shouldn't set your targets very high, because people get sad when they miss their target. So if you set your targets low to something that is always easily achievable, you'll never be sad. And he's got some valid points there. My philosophy is that I set my targets really high, to the point where I'm almost certain I won't be able to achieve them, but I will still try my damnedest to achieve them, because A, if you do, it feels really good. And B, if you don't, odds are, because you would have put so much effort in to achieve those targets, you'd still be at a higher place than you were before. Now, obviously, that does tend to mean you miss your target, your self-set targets, quite a lot. So you've got to be very careful of accidentally getting too demoralised there. Hence why his life philosophy came in. And I'm not sure, really, which works the best. I have to imagine it's going to vary based on the person, right? And I'm curious, what about you? What's your philosophy? And, let me know in the comments, because I'd really like to actually discuss this a bit more and see how it varies among people. So if you don't mind, let me know, what side do you fall on more? Are you more of a set your targets low and easily achievable? Or are you more of set your targets high and very ambitious type person? And why as well? But yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to reply to it, and we can hopefully have an interesting discussion if you're up for it. But yeah, so about Eventum though, if you are interested in joining, recently we're trying to open ourselves up a bit more to the wider population of the world. And to do that, we've recently set up a Discord server. So if you're interested in joining the Discord server, look in the description below. There you go, below, for a link to a server. Yeah, you just need to make sure you've got Discord installed. You need to make sure you've got an account for Discord, and then click that link. And it should do it all for you, really. If you have any issues, let me know, or Google it. And that's the place you go to install Discord, is my recommendation. Go to Google. And yeah, in there's text chat, there will even be a voice chat. Type, say hello, we'll chat to you and figure out how it goes. I don't really know how it will go yet. I don't know if anyone will ever join, but here's hoping you do. Right, well, thanks for listening to me ramble, and see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Thanks for watching our videos. I hope you enjoyed them. Please could you do us a favour and just hit the like button underneath the video? It will improve our search ratings, so we'd really appreciate it. Make sure to check out our channel, see if there's anything else you're interested in, and have a very nice day.